What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. Listen, if I had 3 arms, you would see me clapping right now. But I only got 2, and I can't clap by myself. And I gotta hold the phone with the other one. But I'm clapping, one-handed mono clapping for this little precious white girl. Okay, this precious white girl. We need more little white girls like her. And we need more little white boys like her. Okay, she, now in the age of information, is being given the opportunity to learn the truth about America and its history and her people's role in that history. And she is absolutely disgusted, but she is not ashamed or guilty. You see, that's the thing. European Americans need to realize you can talk about American history. You can learn about American history. You can learn about your people's history, right? Without feeling personally ashamed. You can have secondhand shame, obviously as your group of people, but you don't got to feel guilty about it. All right? There's no need to feel guilty. It's not a necessary emotion, for us to move forward. What's necessary is the acknowledgement, the understanding, the learning from the past so that you can do better in the future. You have to be better than your ancestors. European Americans, you youngins, you have to be better than your ancestors. All of them, okay? All of them, you have to be better than them. You have the potential. Because somewhere deep down in that DNA, there's an African, okay? So pull that that damn strand that's been wrapped around, by generations and generations of European history, all right? Pull that black woman out of you, all right? Put that black man out of you, that African out of you, all right? And find your empathy, all right? And compartmentalize history, compartmentalize your thoughts. No one, not even African Americans, want you to feel guilty about it. Just like African Americans should not feel ashamed that their ancestors, their African ancestors, were enslaved, even though we feel shame for it in a way, but we personally shouldn't feel ashamed. All right, we shouldn't look down on ourselves because for centuries we were stepped on. That hurts the pride. I mean, you got to think about how do you think that makes us Africans feel? Such a great civilization, a great race who's conquered the entire world already, who's conquered other hominids so that humans can actually have the whole planet to themselves. I mean, we didn't do nothing to the bonobo or the chimpanzee or the gorillas or any of them. They cool though. You know what I'm saying? They ain't with the smoke. All right, but the rest of them, the hominids that were kind of like us, we Africans, we defeated them. All right, literally thousands and thousands, tens of thousands, millions of years of war, just so you can be here. Okay, now how you think we feel, being enslaved by you guys, huh? Think about it. I mean, really think about it. You know what we can do, right? Huh? How do you think we feel about being enslaved by you guys? Huh? Gives us a little complex. But we trying to get out of that. And while we doing that, you guys need to get out of y'all shit. Because y'all put layers upon layers upon layers upon layers of blocks on your brain because y'all don't want to process this information because somebody told you you're supposed to feel guilty. It's probably that white man that leads your house, who's taught by another white man that led his house when he was growing up. But in actuality, nobody cares about the guilt. The guilt ain't gonna do nothing. Guilt don't put food on the table. Guilt don't fix problems. Guilt is just an emotional indicator that you did something wrong or that something is wrong and it needs to be fixed. You feel it, you process it, and you move on. To acknowledgement, to education, to learning about what happened. You should be disgusted by what your ancestors did. You should be disgusted. And you should make it your goal. You should make it your goal to be better than them. Just like there's many of us out here, black, white, Asian, Spanish, whatever, right? Who have parents, some of us, who have parents that just they weren't good people, all right? We have parents that you can relate to that. Somebody that got parents that just not a good person, right? But they themselves have made it their business not to be like their parents. You understand? So just because your parents wasn't shit, that doesn't automatically mean that you ain't shit. That just means your parents weren't shit. Just don't be like them. Be better than them. Use what they did, how they were, right, as a foundation for what not to do. All right? Do the opposite of that. That's all we want. No need to kill yourself being guilty about everything. Like I said, And we need these. This is woke. This is what woke is. This is what all those middle-aged, portly, white dudes are talking about when they say woke. This woman, this young lady, this is what they mean. This is what they're afraid of. Because once the masses are educated on the truth, empathy can reign and progress can be made. And progress for humanity is not progress for Neanderthals. You understand? And these are Neanderthals that we are currently battling right now. So us human beings need to learn empathy and love for one another, right? And understand it's okay to talk about and teach everybody who calls themselves an American about real American history. Because American history, up until just recently, or we can say to right now, is European imperialism and African people surviving it and being an example for the rest of the world of how to survive imperialism in front of the most barbaric, savage imperialist the world has ever created. All right? And hey, y'all do have some history you can be proud of. Y'all just never talk about it. Maybe I gotta do it. Maybe I gotta have a White History Month video for you guys so I can give y'all some white history you can actually be proud of. I can give you some white folk that you can be like, yeah, that's my ancestor. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do that shit, all right? Not in this video, but I'm gonna do that shit. But without further ado, let's listen to this woke little white princess, all right? Anyway, that's all I gotta say. Tell me what you guys think in the comment sections. Afro Think Tank, learn some, teach them. I'm out.
If you follow me, you probably saw my video about Auschwitz, but today I want to talk about something completely different. I want to talk about slavery. I'm talking about American slavery of black people. For 400 fucking years, by the way. It was 400 years. And you're probably thinking, I already know all about this. We talk about this in school. I don't need to learn anymore. Well, let me tell you, we actually don't talk about this in school. We don't talk about the truth of it. So let me tell you some things that I learned while researching this. And it's not that hard to research. You just have to look it up. So fact check me if you want, but here we go. First one I wrote down, you probably heard the term motherfucker. Okay, and I'm not going to do any of that corny, like, grape stuff. I'm going to use the real words because those people deserve it. They deserve to not be graped or whatever the fuck. So, slave owners sometimes would force, this was a common occurrence, would force black men to rape their own mothers publicly, to publicly humiliate them and break their spirit. That's where the term motherfucker comes from. The term motherfucker comes from slavery and rape. I'm never going to use that term again. Once I found that out, I was so sick. Next up, the Atlantic slave trade, which we've all heard about, right? If you have like a public education, hopefully you've heard about this. It was so much worse than we could ever possibly imagine. And like, I mean that. Certain ships were actually invented to make it faster so that the slave traders could get more of a profit because people were dying too quickly on the ships. They had special made masts that were much higher. They were the fastest and biggest ships so that they could make a higher profit because people kept killing themselves and dying. And now let me add on to that, people committing suicide because the conditions were so horrible on the ship. They hadn't even made it to slavery yet. They hadn't made it to the plantations. And they were still killing themselves because they knew how bad it was going to be. Sharks literally changed their migration patterns because bodies were just thrown overboard once they died. However, the Atlantic slave trade officially ended in 1808, right? That was the law that was put in by the early United States government. But do you think that stopped it? No. Let me talk about the reverse Underground Railroad. A lot of Southerners went up north and they had these like gangs that would go and capture, they would kidnap black people. Even if they had never been a slave in their life, if they were escaped, no matter who they were, if you were black, they were going to try to kidnap you. They sold children, especially children, because they were easier to kidnap. It was just a big human trafficking thing. And it boggles my mind that we aren't, like, we don't really talk about this stuff in school, at least not at my school in Utah. And also, to counteract the end of the slave trade in 1808, you know what they did? They made breeding farms. And you can guess what that is. It was a rape farm. Girls as young as 13, you know, I wouldn't be that shocked if it was younger, but at least girls and women as young as 13 were sent to special plantations that were exclusively made for breeding, making new people to enslave. And I also didn't know about this. And I don't know, I'm just fuming right now because, like, I knew it was bad, but, like, doing, like, a little bit of your own research makes you realize how horrible it was. Like so much worse than I ever imagined. Another one, you may have heard about this, but if you haven't, let me tell you, the white people, the slave owners, would use African American hair for cushions, for couches, for insulation. They pulled people's teeth that had pretty nice teeth, whatever. They would pull them and turn them into fucking dentures and sell them to rich white people. And you know who had those fucking dentures? George Washington. He had teeth pulled from his slaves to make his own fucking dentures. No, his teeth were not wooden. That's a fucking myth. His teeth were made from slaves' teeth. I mean, they turned their skin into leather. Another thing, they used these people as much as they could. It's horrifying. Obviously, they exploited them for labor. That's the one we all know. But they also used women in particular for fucking medical experimentation. Do you want to know the reason we know so much about women's gynecology? Is because of the fucking human experimentation that happened to black women in the 1800s and before. Also, the sheer amount of rape that women had to endure from their fucking masters or whatever, don't get me fucking started. But the amount of rape that happened within, not just on plantations, but like during the slave trade, during auctions, it's just so disgusting. I saw a study that said that 16% of all African Americans can trace their ancestry back to Europe. That is because of rape. 16% of all African Americans today. And this video is 5 minutes long. I've been talking for a minute. I haven't even scratched the surface on the cannibalism. It makes me so angry. And guess what? It didn't fucking end with the Emancipation Proclamation. That was a great start. But it didn't fucking end. You really think those people that owned other people were just like, oh, well, it's illegal now. I guess I have to let you all go. No, that didn't fucking happen. They kept their slaves. They weren't all just suddenly freed because the president told them they had to. Really, guys? And even the slaves that were freed, guess what? They underwent so much horrific stuff for the rest of their lives. The rest of their lives. People don't realize how common and how brutal and how horrific and depraved lynchings were. Like, it's so insane to me. Like, when people are like, why shouldn't I feel bad about this? I didn't own a slave. Well, look at your fucking family history, guys. I looked at my family history. I had, because I'm really into family history, I had like my 5th great grandpa or something was from Kentucky, and his fucking will says, to my son, I leave an African American girl, well, I think he said Negro, I don't want to say that word though, named Luda. And it just made me feel so disgusted at my own heritage. Like, the fact that people don't feel shame at all. People are like, oh, well, whatever, like, it's in the past. That bothers me so fucking bad. And guess what? It isn't that far in the fucking past. It's not that far in the fucking past. Fucking, the first black girl to go to an all-white school, she's younger than Trump. She has fucking Instagram and TikTok. I don't know. I'm sorry I'm so heated. I probably just sound so stupid. But I'm just so disgusted right now. Just, like, thinking about it. And, like, I've written some stuff down. Just, like, it just makes me so angry. It didn't end in 1863. It didn't end in 1865. Please, I want you to do your own research. I want you to find out as much as you can about this to understand how horrible it was. Because we truly have no idea. Anyways, rant over. I hope I didn't word anything poorly. Because I'm not thinking right now. I'm just kind of disgusted right now. So I hope that this wasn't too, sensitive. But yeah, that's it, guys.
Oh yeah, and don't forget, reparative justice, reparations. We can't skip past go. You can't collect your $200. That's gonna have to happen. Just to let y'all know. All right, it's gonna have to happen one way or another. All right.
Free Sudan, boycott diamonds and gold. Free Sudan, boycott diamonds and gold. We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan.
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.